Hello everybody, we are in Malaysia for EXFL Tier 1 Season 14. You get the gist, we are in Malaysia. Actually no, we're in Bahrain, but you get the funny thing. Anyway, welcome to Bahrain. After a week-long pause from myself, after I went to see an absolute peak film. So enough about that. We are now here for round 5, where so far this man, Naris, has won 3 out of the last 4. I was saying that. He won the first 3 rounds and then got intercepted by Danny, who won in Miami. After, well, I can't tell you how good of a race, how bad of a race it was, because I wasn't there, so, you know. Like, I could tell you if I wanted to. We're here in Bahrain, obviously, probably a staple on the EXFL calendar. I think it probably has been raced most times, if not all, seasons. Served as a season opener for a while. Now, with correlation to the actual calendar, is now more early part / starting getting to the midpoint. So that's fun. We're currently on board with Frankie, who last week finished. I know he had 13 seconds penalties. I know that. Last week, Frankie finished 5th. So hopefully he wants to bounce back to a podium like he did in China. Currently standings, you've got Naris in the lead on 83 points. Obviously 75 for winning 3 straight, and then 8 points for finishing P6 last week round. So anyway, enough of the yap about the last week's race result. Let's focus on Frankie's lap, the first lap of Bahrain competitively into turn 1 in the Cadillac. Obviously Cadillac are yet to do a Bahrain Grand Prix because of reasons, and I don't want my channel to get struck, so we will not be naming said reasons. Down into turn 4 now, flicking the wheel right. So far it's been two very sharp right-handers into the first sector split. It's 28-0, obviously it's going to be purple. Down into the first of 2, maybe. Well, could that be classed as a hairpin? I don't know. Now into the very tricky turn 9-10 complex, where the drivers can lock up very easily. Very conservative with the battery as well, the Cadillac. Now on the back straight, heading uphill. Well, he will be heading uphill now. Could he potentially catch a bit of a slipstream from the car ahead, which is Danny? Could he potentially get a bit of a slipstream from him into the middle sector? It's a 106.1, so probably roughly a 39-second sector? I don't know. I'm not good at math. Into the final corner though. Well, technically speaking penultimate, but now it's the final corner. Up to the line, 30% battery. What can Frankie do? It will be provisional pole, but by how much? Is it 27.737 for the Cadillac. Behind him was Will. Up to the line. How far back will he be from the Cadillac? He is 1.2 seconds behind him. He had Red Fire Tiger, who, without even looking at his lap, he manages to go provisional pole. Behind him, he had Naris, who jumps to second, only 35 thousandths behind his nearest championship contender. Behind them, he had Andreas, who climbs up to P4, 1.5 seconds up of as my mic decided to go. Why is my mic going walkies? Yeah. Froggy did his lap in the intermission, 1.9 seconds off provisional. Whether that could have just been a banker. Behind him, you got current reigning champion JJ, who will be starting his flying lap now. Probably the lowest he's been ever in a championship. He currently finds himself in a P9 with 12 points. We'll see if he's able to propel himself up after this race. Down into turn 4 for him. So there's a bit of a I mean, you know, I think it would be wrong to not go out with saying it. We've got a returnee here in Bahrain / Malaysia. In Sam, started last he started season 12 as a rookie, then switched to Williams for season 13, got left halfway through, and now he's back, potentially to try and upset any of the front runners. Let's try and investigate how he does. First sector split, how good is he off? It's 28.6, so he's a bit off some of the front runners, but you know, it's probably his first lap on the game, as Frankie has left the session, so Frankie will be receiving an invite. Lovely. Back to Sam. We'll see what he can do. He's currently on a flying lap. For someone who has just finished their flying lap was JJ, and he goes 1,000th behind Frankie in the Cadillac. So very close between those two, who I guess, I don't know, what do they want to do? Down into the final corner now for Sam. What can he do? I just have to check if my mic is working. Anyway, up to line with Sam. Where can he go? Sam goes P9. It's 1.6 seconds off provisional pole. And it's behind Will, ahead of Froggy. And there's still two people yet to go out on laps, as I think that is Danny returning into his pit box. Two people who have not done their laps yet is you've got Danny and Giggle Goonfart 67. Who also goes as Logan. I think he's making his debut. I think he's made his debut this season. He partners Chris, who made a few appearances here and there, is not able to race. As speaking through the app, Naris goes faster than a Red Fire Tiger. It was a lap that got him from 35,000s behind to 82,000s in front. So, trying to show that he maybe still has it. Maybe Miami was a fluke. As more people will now be seen exiting the pit lane, as the drivers split off into whatever sort of run strategies they want to do. Yeah. I suppose could talk about some past successes around here. Let me just whip out the old Instagram. As I don't know what Andreas is doing. Currently on board with him. He seems to be driving and then locking the brakes quite aggressively. Unless this is a new tyre warming strat I've never heard of, it might get classed as a bit erratic. Let's just go back to last season around Bahrain, which is actually round 2. You had JJ winning from Robin and Fire on the podium. Obviously, one of those men no longer in the league. So hopefully JJ can make it 2 for 2 around Bahrain. Obviously, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because this isn't F125 JJ. This isn't ground effect JJ. You know, you have to take a bit of adapting to the car, and so far we know who has adapted perfectly to the car and the conditions. You know, hopefully JJ, obviously he can spice up the field and potentially challenge for his 4th straight title. But you know, currently the man to beat is Naris, currently still provisional pole, although Red Fire Tiger will be starting his 2nd flying lap now, essentially dethrone him from the top spot, 8 minutes to go. Bit shaky on the exit, however people I think are finishing their flying laps. I think Froggy, no, that's not Froggy, that's Danny starting his lap. Behind him is Will starting his, and then behind him is Sasara starting his, and then we've got Giggle Goonfar in sector 3 on his outlap as well. We'll just go back to Red Fire Tiger, who apparently puts in the purple first sector, as I probably would be smart for me to move my voice overlay so that it's not blocking the bloody screen. Anyway. Through the middle sector now, that was Frankie. I'm assuming he might have slowed down for people to get past. Red Fire Tiger in the middle sector, what can he do? He is still purple. He is marginally purple according to the tracker in the top right corner. Now into the final sequence. He's only got 30% battery. A little bit of Lyco from the engine noises. Up to the line, you've got 30% battery to burn. What can the Ferrari do around here? Obviously trying to dethrone his title rival. Red Fire Tiger did go up to the line, and he is still pretty... It's not much of a distance, but it is a distance. He is 75 thousandths behind after marginal improvement, where he lost a lot of time in the final sector. Danny, at the final corner, invalidates his run. I don't know if that was going to be a personal best or anything, but, you know, it could be anything. We'll go back to Gilbert Woonfar, who is yet to set a lap. Up to the line, it's a 106.9. According to the game, that is purple. I can't remember what Fires was, but something tells me it was nowhere near a 106. Anyway, into the final corner. He might get a bit impeded here by the Cadillac of Frankie, or Frankie might give him a lovely tow into the final, onto the start-finish straight. What can Giggle Goonfart 67 do on his first race of the season? He stays in P11 with a 1.8 second difference to provisional pole. Fun. So I think might focus on Naris next, or actually Jaden up to the line. We'll see him. So apparently he's got a 1.5 improvement in the middle sector. What can that do to his position? He goes up to P3, and he now is 1,000th behind Fire. Similarly to how JJ is 1,000th behind Frankie, it is now the same for second and third. Froggy's in the pits. Same with Andreas. Behind them, I think Red Fire Tiger's going to pit, and then you got JJ, who also pits. I think, oh, it's 5 minutes to go. I think the next time people emerge will be for their final flying runs. Will invalidated. Sam is on a flyer as well. He's getting a nice tow from Naris here into this middle sector split. It's a 106.1, so a very nice middle sector by the Aston Martin, although it might have been a result of a lot of battery burning. As you can see, 0% down this entire back straight up to the final corner. Now it's very little recharge possible, so now he's got 20% to make stretch to the line. What can Sam do? Up to the line, he goes P7 with a 6th gain, but in the meantime, Naris managed to go ahead, and he's now 2/10 behind. But hang on, Jaden was 1,000th behind Fire, but now they've set the same lap time. What? Excuse me? Hang on. Unless I'm like imagining things, I'm pretty sure Jaden's number was 1,000th slower than Fire's, unless I'm just imagining things. Clearly, probably. We'll go on board with Danny, as he is yet to set a lap time, a competitive lap time at least, in this on this circuit. You got more people. I think that is Fire. No, that is Naris and Sam making their way back into the pit lane to for a very quick switch of tyres. Potentially you drop a bit of fuel and then get back out on circuit to contend. So currently the grid is separated by 1.9 seconds. Now we'll probably just put my phone so I can actually see the stream next to me and see how far off I'm up. Anyway, on board with Danny, we'll go on to the broadcast cam just to get a bit of an on-board view. Here we go. With the Red Bull. Nice cinematic perspective here. Down into turn 1. You can bit of a lock up there. I think probably would be worth switching back to this point. Or actually, can we remove the... Yeah, that works. Now into turn 4. Bit of a recharge. Sector 1 split time, what will it be? It's 28.3. Nothing according to the minimap. Now he's going to try and get that Red Bull working throughout the middle sector. Bit of a off-screen wobble heading out of the hairpin. Now into the trickiest part of the circuit, where it's very easy to lock up, and he very nearly does lock up off the circuit there, the Red Bull. Now down the back straight, one of 4 straight line zones, very wide to open up the corner, cuts the curb, and now lasts a little bit of battery up to the middle sector split. What can Danny do on his first run? It's a 106.3. Once again, nothing according to the mini-map. Now up to the final corner, using any little battery spare in that Red Bull hybrid system. Down into the final corner, very nice braking, cuts the curb, very much rides the exit curb. He goes wide, the board is broken, he has not invalidated. What can Danny do? Up to the line, he stays P12 with a 127.9. Wait, no, that's a lie, my game just lied. He goes P7 with a 127.9. So, you know, at the last ditch attempt, Danny was able to capitalise, and, you know, with how everything's panned out, he might have a shot again at a flying lap. Andreas will switch back to him because he's the next in line. 22 thousandths gain in sector 1. That there alone wouldn't put him anywhere near the car ahead of him, as more people are on their outlaps / starting their laps. As we'll just focus a little bit of Andreas before we switch on to other drivers. Now, you know, Will be there, so Will be the next driver we look on to. Andreas in the middle sector, 1/10 gain. Will, 2/10 gain in the first sector, but that's nothing apparently. There's a yellow flag in the final corner where Red Fire Tiger, I assume. No, that wasn't red, that was Naris starting his lap. My apologies. Andreas now through the final corner. Bit of yellow flags on the back straight. I'm assuming that's people letting each other pass for an optimum position. Andreas up to the line. It's P10. He's gone ahead of Will with a 3/10 gain. Next person to finish their lap will be Will, I think, as he now goes through the uphill left, right, into the middle sector split. What can he do here? It's a minimal gain. So far that does Nish, but hopefully he can improve on that lap, as Danny has retired from the session, so he's going to start 7th or lower. Now through the final corner with Will. What can he do here? Up to the line with the Mercedes. The Mercedes is able to go to P8. A nice save in the final sector from the Mercedes, who's able to jump a few cars behind. Froggy behind him. Where can he go? Froggy up to the line. He goes to P9, so Will has out-qualified Froggy. Behind him, Red Fire Tiger. What can Red Fire Tiger do? He stays in second. Marginal gain, not enough. Giggle Goonfart next. He goes P8. Jumps within a second of pole. Behind him, you got Naris. So Naris is currently probably on his high horse thinking, well, Red wasn't able to beat me. Who can beat me here? So now the gap between first and second is 137 thousandths. Can that gap go any bigger? Up to the line. Naris does make it bigger. It's now on the cusp of just under 2/10. Next person to cross the line will be Sam, currently in P11. On his return, he's down in the middle sector. What can he do here to potentially prosper his hopes of a good qualifying? Up to the line, he stays in 11th. Marginal losses. Up to who was that up to the line? I think that was Frankie, stays in 5th. Behind him, JJ. What can he do? JJ goes to 5th. Behind him, Jaden. What can he do? He's got a 10th gain in the middle sector. Can Jaden get pole? He goes to 2nd, but it's not good enough for pole. Behind him, Sasaras. No, that's not Sasaras, that's Andreas. What can Andreas do? He goes into the pit lane. So, Sasaras can... No, he can't, can he? So, for... I don't know how it played out in Miami. For the races I've commentated, it's 4 for 4 for Naris in the Audi. The now Audi speed glitch is real, as he out-qualifies Jaden and Red, who are both within 2/10 of him, with the Mercedes being able to pip the Frenchman on the cusp of his final lap, to be fair. And then the whole grid separated by 1.4 seconds. I can just check. I'm being an idiot. Why am I disturbing these innocent peoples? So yeah, I've just looked. So it wasn't just the races I've commentated. The races full stop. 5 from 5 for Naris in terms of pole positions. So that's surely got to be a impressive, like a record streak. Most poles from the start of the season. That Audi's got power. Lots of horsepower. I think drivers will be setting off for the formation lap quite soon. So I'm just going to have a little gander who's... here we go. Drivers will be beginning their formation laps. As we head out for the Grand Prix of Bahrain, Malaysia. The green light is not on, but the drivers are in the way. Unless the green light only appears on one side of the thing. I don't know. That's fun, isn't it? Anyway. Unless I am just stupidly lagging. Let's just go through strategy then, right? Let's just go to okay, so here's the strategy base for tonight's Bahrain Malaysia Grand Prix. So out of the 12 people, 11 of them are mediums. JJ, the sole hard runner. Could the hard start potentially help with a one stop? Could it? Could it not? I don't know. The track wear is probably horrible anyway. Regardless, it's quite interesting to see, like, there's always going to be one outlier with the strategy, and you sometimes you have a good idea who might do it, sometimes you might not know who might do for the alternate strategy, but for this case, I think for the first time in a while, we've only got one odd one out in terms of strategy. Everyone else has gone on the mediums. Possible race strategies, there you go. It's suggesting a 2-stop, which is 2 medium stints and a hard, and a 3-stop, which I don't think anyone is planning to do a 3-stop unless they're planning to like box on lap 7 and then just do 7 laps of 7 intervals. I don't know, someone might feel cute like that. Anyway, Naris will be first one to line up onto his grid box. 5 from 5, the Greek in the Audi in terms of qualifying this season. He has been the qualifying king. I've just realised 2 people have been disqualified from the formation lap, and it's Giggle Goonfart and Will, who are both stationary on the grid before anyone else is able to park up. So we will just switch to the as Danny was on the grass. Like, I know he doesn't touch grass that often, but like to do it in a video game, in a car especially, that's not going to hurt you. That's going to hurt your tyres. Sam gets disqualified and Fire gets disqualified for probably improper parking. Here we go then. The Grand Prix of Bahrain, Malaysia. The circuit Sakir. 5 red lights await the drivers. Bit of a long wait, and there's lights out, and away we go here in Bahrain. Everyone gets a good start except for JJ, who drops 2 places for now on the hard compound tyres. 3 places now as more people lose position. Sastras goes spinning, and compared to last season, that is a much cleaner turn 1 for the drivers. Now we will see who's able to fight and who's able to drop. Frankie overtakes Jaden, who's down to 4 from second. Oh, as that's Will going a bit deep. Think different moment. So a bit of moving between the grid so far. So far, the biggest loser has been Sasaras, who's dropped from 4th to 10th. So, you know, probably didn't help. He was sideways into turn 1. But now, we'll see how the rest of the race will play out. Remember, this is first lap of 29. We're not even halfway through the lap, so literally anything can happen. Best be for certain I can run to someone's house, get on their setup, and absolutely dominate by 58 seconds, but I don't. As just the drivers following each other. It'll be interesting to see like the tyre strategies, because this track, it's not mid, but it's average. Like, it's got everything. It's got slow corners, it's got fast corners, it's got medium corners, it's got hard braking zones, it's got brake points you don't brake at all. A brake board has just gone flying, and Naris says the first lap, fastest lap, which is a 32.3, and he is already 7/10 ahead of the field. So yeah, got people fighting to turn 1 as Giggle Goonfart has it sent on him from miles away from JJ. Now Sam and JJ are scrapping. The former teammates actually, Logan. Well, Giggle Goonfire actually goes to the deep inside to allow some people past. He drops back down to 9th. Will's now fighting with JJ. So those hard tyres not getting up to temperature as quickly as VCAR would have hoped, as he's in my attention for all the wrong reasons right now. Bit of a lock up there from Will, as drivers potentially trying to avoid each other. Sasaras trying to gain some of the deficit he lost on lap 1 with Giggle Goonfart ahead of him. We'll now see what will be the plan here for some drivers, because some drivers might prefer a strategy of dumping the battery on this back straight, charging, dumping again. Although with a circuit like this, you've got the harsh braking zones like the turn 9. You got the turn 9 hairpin. You got actually 3 hard braking hairpins here. So it'll be very interesting how drivers attack and defend when it comes to entering and exiting those specifics. So meanwhile, at the front, Frankie has had a gap of 1.4 seconds opened up to him by the cars ahead, so he'll not have boost mode onto this next lap, so that should allow easy pickings for Jaden, who gains back a place he lost on lap 1. Is further back behind. Sasaras overtakes Giggle Goon with the battery advantage. So far, apart from one outlier in top 3, it's been a cautionary tale where the bottom have lost and the top have gained. Giggle Goonfart down the inside of turn 4. I'm pretty sure I just saw a brake board go flying. Bit of contact there between the Haas and the Williams. There's Sam and Will side by side into the S's. Nice fighting there. Sam pulls along the outside. Can he try the up and under here, or does he go fully around the outside? The door gets slammed shut here, as Will is really creating a train here around Sepang. Sepang? Sakir. You can really see the battery advantage here, as I've missed it. Red Fire Tigers on the back of the Audi. Obviously, probably not having boost mode is one thing, but Red Fire Tiger trying to potentially strategically use his battery. So we may see a case where he does burn a little to try and get away from the cars behind, but he won't overtake into the final corner to potentially get boost mode again. As behind Will, and this is the constant fight here. JJ down the inside of the penultimate corner, as I need to go back to the front because I think there might be an overtake for the lead here. Red Fire Tiger look to the outside, goes to the inside of the Audi, but doesn't pull alongside enough to send into turn 1. Down the inside goes Red Fire Tiger, side by side, and he is ahead of the Audi. Nice move from the Ferrari, who is still chasing his first win of the season. Down here, you've still got people fighting. This is a massive scrap. Will went from 6th to 10th to even 11th at one point in the span of one lap. Up ahead, you've got the GFO lot scrapping. You've got Froggy looking down the inside of Sasaras. He's not far enough alongside to make the move. However, a nice exit could have made a move possible. Here we go then. The fight in the midfield is really spicing up here. And you'd think, like, they're not letting JJ get away, you know. Like, he might, I mean, depending on how he feels about his strategy, he might be thinking, like, why are they, like, fighting me? Like, this is gonna hurt my tyres. Anyway, here we go then. Logan Giggle Goonfart burning battery. As it'll be a similar situation to what happened between Fire and Naris, where he won't overtake here just to have as much battery potential on the start-finish straight. Or will he? Will he wait? Or will he deploy it here? He will wait, at least with my beliefs. 78% battery. JJ's got no boost. Giggle Goonfart has got boost. However, it's pretty even Stevens certainly, so unless Giggle Goon absolutely blasts the battery, nothing will happen. Antrias, 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, and Antrias becomes the first casualty of the Malaysia Grand Prix. Is up ahead. The gap is starting to slightly open for the Ferrari. The gap going up by 1/10 there through the S section, so you know, probably trying to pull away as best as he can to evade any sort of undercut. This is a sight you have to see from how quite separated the cars were last season. We've got 6 cars in a pack here, all fighting for P6 here. Well, probably not P6 the further back you go, but they're probably just happy to get a single point or two at this stage of the season to potentially cement midfield charge, or potentially best of the rest depending on how everything else pans out. Regardless of that, here we are again. Ooh, Logan Giggle Goonfart's going very deep into the final corner, trying to potentially evade slamming into JJ's rear wing. Obviously, I do feel like this is slightly like, what would it be, like Lewis Hamilton being chased down in a Mercedes like last season, because, you know, Williams is the team JJ won his titles with. Like, this is his team, but, you know, he made the decision to leave Williams, or maybe didn't pick in time. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So you know, might feel like that. It's very successful with one team, and has left to potentially uplift another team from lower down the grid. I mean, we are 6 of 29. So, you know, if there is 2 stops, I think drivers will be making their stops within the next few laps or so to try and push those tyres to the very max. I don't know any sort of tyre data. I don't know, like, how worn they are. But I could imagine they are probably not the freshest. So grip has probably dropped. Although there are still people like Sasras banging in improvements in the sectors. Froggy lit up the wheels for a second as Will becomes the first driver to get a track limit penalty tonight. He is 2 seconds behind the pack, and he has already distanced himself from points, scoring positions, for now at least. As we are roughly a quarter into the race. I don't know why I'm saying so much. I don't know. I'm struggling to think of anything. So far, the racing has been quite decent. Like, you had a 6-way fight for P6 at one point, but now I think as drivers have acclimatized, they will be starting to pocket into smaller groups, maybe like 2-3 drivers at max in one pocket of air. I mean, you've got at the front Fire of Naris, they're 4/10s, and then you've got 3 drivers within a second of themselves. Obviously, Jaden having a 2-second gap to the car in front, and same here, but instead it's a 5-way fight with a pocket where it's separated by 4 seconds to the front runners. So, I mean, this DLC has probably caused a few shocks. I mean, you know, you ask someone at the start of the start of the season, who do you think would win? I don't think anyone will be banking on Naris. Although, yes, his form towards the end of last season was immaculate, becoming the only driver, apart from JJ, to win back-to-back races last season in his Kick Sauber, which he joined late on, to be fair. Quite late on. He did the start of the season, missed a few of the mid-pack, and then returned to have fun, I presume. So Giggle Goonfart looks to the inside of JJ, but isn't able to make anything stick. Potentially a scare factor there for the Williams driver, who has had a very successful last season. He got a few podiums and got dubbed the King of P7 for how many times he finished P7 in the opening stages of the season. That's including both qualifying and the race. Then two ironically, back-to-back podiums in both Italian races was a nice touch. Obviously, I think he nearly won in Monza, although I'm not sure how that panned out. Regardless, him and his good friend Sam are on the charge here. So very impressive from Sam. I mean, from what I remember, it was near enough my pace, and then I guess one of us acclimatized better into our setups, and now he is on the pace with a three-time EXFL champion. Also fourth in the three-horse race. Now here we go then at the front of Naris's boost. Fire does not. Into turn 1 on lap 9. Will we see a change in the lead? The Audi goes to the inside. The new age Silver Arrow locks up into turn 1. He's not able to overtake outright. However, he did have the lead momentarily. Red Fire Tiger keeps the lead and now might be vulnerable up until turn 4. However, Naris has already lifted off to get as much battery as possible. So, you know, maybe for the next lap he is safe, depending on how many boxes as well, because it also, like, you know, if someone boxes earlier, it will push you to be like, we need to copy this strategy, we do not want to be overcut. Despite the fact that this track is very nice to overtake at, there is a lot of overtaking opportunities. I think some drivers might not want to risk being undercut. Meanwhile, so far, the biggest gain has been Sam, who started 11th and now is 8th. The biggest loser was Sasras, who did start P4, did he? He started P4 and now is in P9. To be fair, you know, when you're sideways at turn 1, you can't really help it. As we might have a fight brewing here. The gap went momentarily under 0.2 of a second between Naris and Fire. Here we go. This could all get disrupted by one of them boxing, but you never know. We'll find out on the exit this corner. Would either of these drivers pit? No. So we have now the two cars gaining in. Obviously the gap has gone slightly bigger than last I imagined it. As we got the first boxer, we got the first two boxes of Froggy, very close and personal with the gearbox of Sasras, and one of them has a 10 second. Both of them have a 10-second penalty. So that might get brought to the appeal centre, because actually can't, because unless they do 19 laps on hards, they will serve her either or, but that might be like a behaviour penalty incoming for Froggy. It just absolutely did not slow down in time to box. That could have actually given Sasras rear wing damage. I'm not sure if he does though, but he'd be very lucky to escape with no damage out of that. Now, 10 laps in, we've got a bit of a similar order. Like, you know, some drivers have been fighting. I think most people are in similar positions they were in lap 1. Now that we're in like early to mid race, most drivers have found their rhythm and just executing lap after lap after lap, and just hoping something sticks. So we have had our two first proper pack boxes. Will we see any other this lap? We do. Naris, he fakes the pit, as we just saw someone go. I think I just saw someone go stupidly wide on the exit of the final corner. That could have just been my imagination. I have been imagining a lot of things this race, like an entertaining battle. But you know, Giggle Goonfar and JJ have dropped Sam by over a second. He still has boost, so the drop must have happened within the sequence of turn 1 and turn 4. But he is now within a second. It is like hit and miss. Like you'll be within and then out in like 10 seconds. Here we are then. Further behind you got Will. He's within 5 seconds, so I think they have overcut him a slight. But to be fair, you know, Will, I don't think Will's driving to be like competing with people who can definitely sit on podiums. I think he's there purely for the love of the game. I have just insulted him for how slow he is, but you know, I'm sure he'll take it in good avail. Any of these two picks, Will with Naris fake the pit stop again. He doesn't fake it this time, but does anyone actually box for real? You got Jaden in the pit lane. I think he didn't speed, but it looked very close to. Frankie is also in. That allows for Danny and JJ to jump him, as well as Giggle Goon. Sorry, Giggle Goonfart67. That's the that's not the actual top 5. That's the provision. That's the top 5. Whilst everyone else boxes, Sam was also in the pit lane. He put hards onto his Aston Martin, as did the 2 cars ahead of him. As both of them cut the pit lane quite aggressively, so that could potentially indicate that's us done. Like, we're not boxing. Like, we ain't boxing anymore. Which could really be quite funny if a safety car comes out with 5 laps to go and they can't box. Well, I mean, they can box. Well, okay, put it this way. They could have done that and still have the intention of doing a 2-stop, but that means they can't do that on their second one. Personally, if I wasn't doing a 2-stop, I'd have taken the normal pit lane first time round and cut it the second time round, just to get as much as an advantage towards the end of the race as possible. Meanwhile, at the front, it's the same thing as since lap 4. As Redfire Tiger's front left is looking quite tasty. As he says, I am pitting this lap. Make sure it doesn't speed. He has had a tendency of pitting and speeding. So now that allows Naris to re-inherit the lead that he lost towards the start of the race. Obviously started on pole. As JJ is now in second. Giggle Goonfar and Danny both followed Fire into the pit lane. So most people opting that lap 13 is the optimum pit lap. Where will that put Jaden in comparison to everyone else? Was he able to close the gap to Fire ahead? We'll see. Down into turn 1, the gap is much closer, so the undercut may have been successful for the Mercedes, or the tyre drop-off for the Ferrari must have been absolutely abhorrent for this to end up like this, as Frankie is now 2 seconds behind them. So maybe that outlap was not as efficient as the Cadillac would have thought. Obviously, not speaking in white lies here. A win/podium here would be Audi and Cadillac's first in EXFL. Probably would be for a decent lot of teams. I'm not fully coped up on the law. As Will gets another 3-second penalty, exiting the turn 4. The S is in sector 2. As Wolf Narrow's box. Wolf Narrow's box, or is it one more lap for the Audi here? Judging off his line, he is in. Don't speed though. Very cautious. 20 under before entering the pit lane. So now JJ is in the lead, but he is on the alternate strategy. He is on the hards, whilst everyone else is boxing onto the hards. He will be seeing how long he can drive on his, which may open up the 1-stop in the end. Redfire Tiger, we'll see. Him and Jaden actually. Jaden pulls up to the inside, and tell you what, Jaden, from being on 2 seconds behind, I mean, Redfire Tiger does send it down the inside very aggressively, but for the time now at least, Jaden is the provisional race leader after a nice, very nice outlap. Although, you know, something could be attributed to absolutely abolishing the rules about pit lane exit. But no one needs to know about that. That might have been a corner cut warning for Red Fire Tiger there. Bit of lift and coast, trying to get a better exit there. Obviously, one's tyres are slightly older than the other, so both are quite warmed up. As Naris is not far behind. Naris has actually brought Frankie into this, so now he got a fight for, dare I say, the provisional race win between the current provisional top 4. I've not seen that in a while, like an undercut, like actually having an impact. Because look back a few laps ago, I'm pretty sure the gap between Jaden and Fire to Naris, well, not Fire and Naris, each other, was like 3 seconds, and now he's ahead of him. So, it was a pretty successful undercut then. Out in the lead. I don't think we need to focus on JJ that much, because he's just going to have to try and pull out lap time after lap time to try and be able to do the overcut with the alternate strategy. Sastra's fastest lap at 1:30.3 in the Haas, currently P6, but will potentially rise or actually drop with his 10-second penalty after he got rear-ended by Froggy into pit lane. We have now reached the halfway point of the race, so one driver yet to pit, if I'm not mistaken. And that is obviously JJ. All drivers on track are still on hards, but JJ's are from the start of the race. And the biggest gain so far, who would have thought? Once again, it's JJ. So we'll just sit on this perspective screen for a while. I mean, from the start of what was a quite entertaining opening sequence, it has dropped down a bit. I didn't even realise Giggle Goonfart got jumped by Sam in the pit lane sequence. So the Williams now behind the Aston Martin, which is the real life like pecking order. So there is a slight aspect of realism. JJ stays out again, so this could be a very late pit stop for him on his tyres for the standard. Further behind, you got these drivers ganging up a little bit. However, I will have to try and focus on this, as this is the fight for higher points paying positions. Red Fire Tiger using the boost. Jaden's got no boost. He looks to the inside of turn 1, down the inside, and Jaden, I think, just let the move happen. Although he does now look for the switchback in asterisks, as he tried to burn the no battery he had. As further behind, Sam overtakes Froggy, but Froggy did look tempted to go back down the inside. However, probably didn't want to end up in a collision halfway through a race where he could get pretty decent points. Regardless, low Giggle Goonfart down the inside makes Froggy cut the chicane, cut the S's down into the first of 2 hairpins, and Giggle Goon is ahead, pulls out from the Red Bull side, and now the chase for the Aston Martin is back on. And a bit further up the road, Sam can see Danny, so he could actually catch Danny in the end of things. As further up ahead, Red Fire Tiger has gained like 3 seconds in 2 laps on JJ, as Naris looks to the inside of the final corner, but won't overtake into the final corner. Now onto the back straight, using boost. James using boost. Fire's got no boost, but Fire sets the fastest lap regardless, with a 1:30 God knows what, as Will got a penalty to interrupt my fastest lap explanation. Meanwhile, so far in the championship standings, so it's 83, is it? 75, 83, yep. To I think it was like 757 or something. So there won't be a switch in the championship lead whatsoever this round, But, you know, Naris running P4 is very unorthodox for the driver, who we've seen dominate 3 of the 4 races we have witnessed so far this season. Just sit on this camera for a bit. It's a nice camera. See the recharge lights on Jaden's Mercedes. You can see the recharge lights flashing on a lot of cars. Here we go, defensive shape thrown out by Jaden's Mercedes, with Naris doesn't even bat an eyelid, and he powers through on the inside into turn 1, and the Audi is third, provisionally second. Can Jaden fight back? Does he have the tyre work? Does he have the tyre life? Does he have the battery to fight back? As Naris will now set his sights on the driver who took his lead away at the start of the race. Is the driver who lined up just behind him, not alongside, but behind him in the on the starting grid. So it might be a little bit infuriating. Also, might be a little bit infuriating considering the fun stuff they got up to in Miami. I'm not naming names, but they each there was like a lot of incidents, and they were in more than half of them. But also, it's very unusual to see Naris with a car just ahead of him, especially this late into the race. Probably be like seconds in the lead. And Mike decides to have a little bit of fun time. Regardless, we've got JJ in, very conservative on the entry, make sure to not speed. So that will grant Red Fire Tiger the lead of the Bahrain Malaysia Grand Prix here at Sakir. As he also sets the fastest lap to set the tone. So, you know, any statement that needs to be made has been made, but the gap has gone down a bit. We'll see where JJ comes out, because JJ might actually come out with the pack he was fighting with at the very start, with Gigglegoon, Sam, and Froggy. Gigglegoon gets overtaken by Sam into turn 1. So now JJ is at the back of that pack, so he'll probably try and make as much of the 10 laps of mediums he'll have to potentially reel himself into a more favourable position. So far, all drivers within, I think, 15 seconds? Yeah, 15 seconds, with Will having that exact same gap from him to the next car. So, pain for the Mercedes, who looks like currently he'll be the only driver not leaving Sakir on the track currently with any points to his name. It's behind JJ, overtakes Froggy before the hairpin. That moves him up to 9th. However, he probably would have had that position anyway, thanks to Froggy's 10-second penalty, which, speaking of, I think with how drivers are moving now, actually I might need to check like tyre life, we might not potentially see another pit stop from some of these drivers. Some of these drivers might be doing a one-stop here at a track where tyres get killed quite quickly. Regardless, back onto broadcast. Here we go. Audi versus Ferrari on the start-finish straight. Naris looked to the inside but didn't commit to a move, as meanwhile JJ got past Sam into 7th. As actually no, these two are fighting. Here we go. We got a 4-way fight for 7th here. As you go down to look to the inside. JJ very aggressive down the inside of Froggy. He's still side by side, but he's not putting those mediums to any good use. So currently he is losing. Like he's currently the loser in this situation. He's just boxed. He has the freshest tyres out of everyone. He has the most grippy tyres out of everyone. He's currently fighting for low-end points. So this is not like he imagined his second stint to go out, but you know, that is just how racing works around tracks like Sakir. But also in this league in general, like sometimes you've got drivers you wouldn't expect ever fighting some others, and then you've got other absolute total surprises. Meanwhile, just go back to this fight because it's lap 20 of 29. We are now 2/3 of the way done with this Grand Prix. And currently is Red Fire Tiger, who's got the honours etched onto the trophy. However, you know, saying that there is still 10 laps to go of this race, so I wouldn't put it anything past anyone winning. For, you know, Will could win this race for, you know, for old time's sake. Regardless, boost on both drivers. Naris with the much more powerful battery storage down into turn 1. A lot of tyre smoke from the Ferrari in front. So far, these guys are just playing a game of follow the leader, because I'm not seeing any overtakes. Meanwhile, in this mid-pack here, JJ, once again, very aggressively, down the inside of one car, down the inside of two momentarily. JJ and Giggle Goonfart side by side. That allows Giggle Goonfart to drop down to 9th again. This is a very spicy battle. This could be one of the highlights of the race, as Giggle Goonfart goes down the inside of Sam into turn 4. Momentarily in second gear, which is not the gear you want to be really taking that corner. And yeah, he's ahead. That's a lovely camera angle, can I say. I love that one. That has allowed Froggy to catch up now into their little posse. However, you know, I think now that JJ is ahead, JJ's got clear air, JJ's got the battery, JJ's also underfueled the car. JJ's probably going to leave that pack behind now. But you never know what can happen. Regardless, back to this fight, Naris versus Red Fire Tiger for the lead here, and eventually the victory into the final corner. No moves being made just yet. The Audi, very conservative. He's also underfueled, but you can see he's got a quarter of a tank under what you need to finish this race. Regardless, he's using the boost. 346 kilometers an hour down the inside into turn 1. Red Fire Tiger outbrakes him, so no move done yet, says the Ferrari. But the boost again up the hill. He uses boost. Red Fire Tiger does not. Down the inside, and he's in the lead by turn 4. However, Red Fire Tiger with the switchback, and he has done the switchback. He's made it work. They are still side by side. However, the battery might have ran out there. They are still side by side, very close to contact. There is contact. Front right to rear left action there. I'm surprised Red Fire Tiger didn't spin around. But that was a very nice battle between the top two in the championship right now. And even with no boost, Red Fire Tiger has shown like he can fight with Naris, despite, you know, what happened in the first 3 rounds. It is possible. He's got his fighting gloves on. However, just like in the Odyssey, the Greeks always have a trick up their sleeve. Just ask a Trojan horse. Left outside of the Palace of Troy, as a present for the Trojan men, I assume, or men and women. And in the end, it caused the collapse of Troy. And here we go. If Naris could cause the collapse of Red Fire Tiger into turn 1, he can't. Red Fire Tiger outbreaks himself again. There is smoke at the back. That was Danny who spun. I haven't mentioned his name a lot today, so, you know, bringing himself back into headlines. Regardless, back to my commentary of the top two. You know, these two fighting quite close to each other, came to contact. You know, could have very easily seen Red Fire Tiger spinning out of the lead, potentially even off the podium. However, so far, all is fair. So far, I don't know why I'm saying this so much. Life is fun. Onto the back straight again. Yeah, as I said, like I'm using the Odyssey references. The Greeks always have a trick up their sleeve, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one coming here. Obviously, the Trojan horse, probably the biggest Greek surprise of all. However, it did lead to also the mental downfall of Odysseus, who spent 20 years trying to get home to his beloved. And ironically, Ferrari have been waiting 20 years for someone to return the World Championship back to Maranello. Regardless, Red Fire Tiger, bit of a loosey-goosey on the exit of the final corner here. The Ferrari could get overtaken by the Audi here. It's Audi versus Ferrari power down into turn 1. Naris pulls alongside. Can he make the move stick this time? Very brave on the brakes from Red Fire Tiger. Both drivers still giving it tango in Sakir for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Boost mode activated down the inside, and Naris retakes the lead again. However, Red Fire Tiger around the outside again. However, bit of a half spin, very close to contact, and still side by side. I want that camera, the like tall camera back. Regardless, these two have been exchanging the lead for a decent chunk of the race. And the matter of the question here is, you know, because I don't know what their tyres look like, so, you know, for all I know, their tyres could be absolutely dome. Giggle Goonfart slamming into the back of Froggy. That's a very unorthodox place to try and overtake. Into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Into turn 11. Strange move to overtake. Will is in the pit lane again. He's bolted a set of softs on. Will might get lapped here, depending on how everything goes. Anyway, 70% battery. They both got 70% battery. Here we go then for round 7, or God knows how many times they fought here. Once again, Naris burst in the battery. They're both very equal battery spent. However, I don't think Naris is far enough back to make the send into turn 1. So for now, Red Fire Tiger's lead is safe. The laps are aching down to the checkered flag, as these two are certainly giving it fight, just like Max and Lewis in 2021 on that fateful evening, where the both drivers pulled out a very impressive gap to everyone else behind. And they both came into contact that race, I believe. Not much else fight. I mean, we had the nice fight for like 6th at the start of the race between 5 drivers. Now that fight has seemingly fizzled out. You've got some drivers placed around. You've got drivers in the front pack, drivers in the mid pack. I will just point out, Sasaras had a 10-second penalty, had an awful start, and he has climbed his way back to 5th on the toes of Frankie for 4th. However, that 10-second penalty may or may not get removed. Regardless, Naris side by side with Red Fire Tiger. They are very much side by side this time, down the inside, and is very brave on the brakes for both of them. Red Fire Tiger has been unstoppable on the brakes this afternoon, as he is able to shut down any possible attack. Here we go. Naris tries to do the turn 4 send again. He does send a wheel into turn 4, but he's not far enough alongside to be able to announce to the world, I am going to overtake. There's 3 laps to go. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1, that is Giggle Goonfart. Giggle Goonfart 6-7 has spun in sector 1, and he will most likely now finish P10, well actually P9 considering Froggy's penalty. Regardless, I think we can't really focus on anything happening at the back. We need to focus on this fight. This is the closest fight for the lead we've had in absolute ages. Got the Ferrari, Red Fire Tiger searching for his first win in red, and then Naris aiming to make it 4 out of 5 around the Sakir circuit at the Malaysian Grand Prix. Next time they cross the lap, it will be lap 27. 2 laps to go as Will says the fastest lap of the race. That is what we all care about. Will, fastest lap. That is all that care about. Give him 25 points just for that fastest lap alone. Regardless, Naris fighting for the lead down the inside of turn 1. Red Fire Tiger once again is not letting himself get outbroken here. Turn 1. You cannot overtake him. He's the Great French Wall, or the Great Wall of Maranello, or whatever you like to call it. Anyway, down the inside of turn 4. No move made. However, I might need to circle back a little bit because there is a fight for P4 going high. JJ got past Sasaras, is now on the feet of Frankie for P4. So maybe the mediums, you know, coming to fruition now. They are definitely the quicker tyre now. We'll go back to that one if this fight like fizzles out. Now, 2.5 laps to go here. The winner still has not been decided, and well, Naris takes the lead into turn 11. However, Red Fire Tiger pulls the switch back, and they're side by side into turn 12 as Naris now takes the lead. But that's left him in a bit of a situation because he is ahead, but he won't have boost. Red Fire Tiger burning a little bit to try and stay within the range. Here we go. This has opened a situation where, you know, that's flipped the switch, because now what happens? Lyco into turn 1. Very close between the two. Red Fire Tiger obviously is braking, has been impeccable this evening. He's been able to close up. He's been able to stay in this fight purely off his braking alone. His defending into turn 1 has been absolutely impeccable. Anyway, JJ's got past Frankie. I don't think that's the matter of interest right now. We've still got a fight for the lead here. I am surprised. How many times have they gone past that line and not got track limits? I actually do need to check because I might have slightly cocked up. I thought for a second that was regular corner cutting. I was going to get smoked. As a Red Fire Tiger struggling a little bit on the tyres, he might have, his tyres might have reached a tipping point. So, regardless of what happens, Froggy gets a 3-second penalty, so it is definitely not my issue. There's yellow flags. That is Will slowing down in the middle sector. He might potentially try and give Jaden a bit of a boost for his defensive hopes, although not that there needs to be. So here we go. These drivers on the penultimate lap. Red Fire Tiger has been showing signs of tyre wear. You can see him sliding out of corners, especially like the middle to slow to medium speed ones. He is struggling on the exits. Regardless, here we go. Starting the final lap here in Sakir for the Malaysian Grand Prix. As Naris is 4/10 ahead, and he's got the like battery disadvantage, but I don't think Red Fire Tiger is going to be able to catch him into the braking zone of turn 1. He gets quite close to him, but not necessarily enough to constitute a fight. There you go, sliding again, because we might need to cut back to a different fight. Here you go, JJ versus Frankie into turn 1. The mediums versus the hards, the alternate strategy, as JJ very close to snapping Sasaras's front wing off, as he now is able to pull the up and under. He's now side by side with the Cadillac. However, I do need to get back to this fight, because this fight has just gone slightly more interesting. I'm so sorry, JJ. I've just missed your overtake for P4. I'm sure it was impressive. But these two are here again, and Will's in P3. Will you believe it? But yeah, this is where it gets interesting. Wait. Because what's happened to Naris? Oh, I think Naris might just slow down on purpose just to give himself as much of a advantage as possible. Anyway, around the outside, Fire defending. He's got a 3 seconds, so it will be Naris who is victorious. At least for now, at least. But on the weekend where, well, you never knew what was going to happen. We had a few like race leaders at one point, but here we are. Naris completes the overtake into the final corner. Red Fire Tiger gets Sendy into the final corner, and it's 4 stars out of 5 for Naris crossing the line to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. 3 seconds ahead of Fire, who had a 3-second penalty. Jaden, his first podium of the season, I think. No, he had a podium last week. That's my bad. His second podium. Frankie in 4th. JJ 5th. Sasaras in 6th. Danny in 6th, sorry. And then Sam in 7th on an amazing return for him. Sasaras in 8th. Froggy in 9th. No, sorry. Giggle Goon 6-7 in 9th. Froggy in 10th. And then Will in 11th. Well, that was a That was quite a fun battle to watch. Here we go then. Like, you got... Let's just do the cheeky race director for anyone who forgets the silly billies. Anyway, just look at. I'm surprised. No, I mean, yeah, that was a very entertaining race to watch. Obviously, Naris in the end did prove victorious. Although Red Fire Tiger got a 3-second penalty on the last lap, might have slightly demoralised him. It's a shame, really. You know, a 3-second penalty is able to very much. I've just said the word twice. Demoralise someone. It's a very good showing from a lot of drivers. I think a very impressive re-debut in the season for drivers such as Sam and Gigglegoonfart67. Obviously, points scoring points in your first race back is always a nice foundation. However, unless I'm actually yeah, I'm just gonna end the stream. I have been the commentator. That was the EXFL Tier 1 Season 14 Malaysian Grand Prix at Sakir. I have been your commentator. That race was absolute cinema.